Hi guys, Good for Nothing here, and in today's video we are going to be ranking every school from worst to best. But here's a twist I haven't seen on any of these videos. Everyone just assumes we're talking about all the way to 130. I'm taking the twist and saying no membership involved, so we're doing early game schools. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this different type of video because I haven't actually seen anybody else on YouTube, and I looked it up for like an hour and I couldn't find a video like this. If there is one, let me know. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this, and let's get into it. The worst school in Wizard 101 to get if you're not buying a membership, in my opinion, is Life. Listen, hear me out. Life is a pretty good school late game, and with a team, but if you're not going to buy a membership, the thing that matters most is damage. And as we can see when we look at these spells, Life has ridiculously low damage. When you get to level 10, you don't even get a hit spell, you just get a heal. And the enemies aren't even strong enough to the point where you need heals at that point yet. You're just playing by yourself. So in my opinion, Life isn't useful at all as an early game school. It's good like middle and late, you always want to have a Life Wizard on your team, but as an early game school, it's very trash. The next school on my list is Ice. Okay, hold on. Hold on with your pitchforks, guys. I know. Ice is the best school in the game. At late, but not early. Don't get me wrong. I'm an Ice Wizard, as you guys can tell. I love Ice. It's one of my favorite schools. But as an early game school, it's just not very good. Here, I'm going to show you guys the spells that you get. You get Frost Beetle, which to be fair, all the level 1 pip spells are trash. Snow Serpent is pathetic. It's the same as Leprechaun, but it has more of a fizzle percent. And then you get Snowman, which is just a really dumbed down spell. It just doesn't do much. Keep in mind, you don't get the Tower Shield till I believe level 16, I believe. And just overall, like I said before, damage is the most important thing as an early game strategy. You don't need much healing or defense or shields. That's not the main gist. And Ice specializes in defense, but lacks in strong attacking. So in my opinion, Ice is the second worst. But it's still a great school. If you are planning to get a membership, I would recommend buying Ice. 100%. Ice is a very good school if you're going to go the mile. But if you're only trying to play without a membership, I wouldn't recommend Ice. And next up on our list, we have Death. This is the first school where if someone picked it and didn't want a membership, I would be like, that's okay. It's not a great school, but it's definitely not bad. I was actually going to put this higher, mainly because of the Ghoul spell, because that is a spell that actually gives you your health back. But I realized it only gives you 80 health, and compared to other spells on this list that we're looking at, to level 10, because most people only make it to level 10 by doing all the main quests and some side quests. You usually get to around level 10 at most. It's just a pretty average school. That health thing definitely puts it above Life and Ice just because of that, and also the Banshee spell is pretty good. It hits a little bit harder than Ice, and it actually has a level 10 spell unlike Life. Death is a good school late game because not only do you hit fairly hard, especially with Feint, you also get to heal yourself. But as an early game school, it's just all right. I wouldn't prefer it, but they're all right to have, and they come in at number 5. Climbing down our number 4 spot, we have Balance. So Balance was a close competitor with our number 3 spot. I went back and forth. Originally, I was going to put Balance one higher than the next spot for a reason I'm going to talk about in a second. But I decided to put Balance here because we're not including it comboing with other schools. Because the Balance Blade can help other schools, it doesn't really matter what the school is, have more damage. I didn't want to include it though. I want to focus on the school itself. In itself, Balance doesn't hit as hard as the next school, and damage is most important as an early game school. As a late game school, I honestly don't know how Balance is. I know it's pretty good, but it's kind of a weird school to use late game. I honestly don't know much about it late game. I played Balance and I got to like level 30, and it was an interesting experience. I'm guessing it's just a middle of the road school late game, if I could guess, because this all the spells seem very unique. That's the one thing about balance is if you want to have a very unique school, play balance. It gives you the most unique experience of any school, in my opinion. It's a very fun school to play. Of all the schools that I played, I honestly probably enjoyed playing balance the most. Even though I know it's not the best school that I play, but it was still very fun to use. And it comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3, we have Myth. Okay, so the reason why I decided to put this above balance is mainly because of Myth Trap. I thought about it, and even though when you're in Triton Avenue, they put up Myth Shields a lot, if they don't, they're going to get clapped. And the Troll, as you can see, hits harder than the Scorpion. And the Bloodbat's okay. And the Cyclops hits harder. It actually hits pretty hard. It's the 3rd hardest hitting school, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Aside from the professor being a dick and looking like Mr. Clean over here, I'm okay with Myth. I've never actually played Myth before, so I can't say how it is late game, but man, I hate playing against Myth Wizards because the stupid Earthquake spell they use that removes all your charms. It's so annoying, bro. You don't even understand. I was playing in Celestia yesterday, and I'm playing against these Myth guys, and I'm an Ice Wizard, so I'm trying to, form up my blades, and this dude just hits me with an Earthquake, removes my blade stack, and it just pisses me off. Enough of my rant aside, Myth is a good school to play if you're not going to get a membership. I would recommend playing Myth as one of them. And it comes in at number 3. Popping off of the number 2 spot, we have Fire. Okay, this was tough between this and number 1. I went back and forth for about 15 minutes thinking about this, and I came to the conclusion that having one really good spell versus having 2 middle good spells, as a low level, it's better to have that one really good spell. Because you can use it and the game's done. That is why I went with the number 1. What I mean by that is Fire has got 2 good middle spells. And what I mean by that is Fire Elf, which is a good spell, and Sunbird, which is a good spell. Their Fire Elf hits the hardest of any level 5, and Sunbird's the second hardest hitting. So overall, they're good combo. You also have a good shield there that blocks against 2, good schools. And Firecat's a pretty good 1-pip spell. Overall, Fire is a very strong school late game. It's one of the best for sure. You see a lot of people running Fire in late game. It's very common. I personally haven't run Fire before. Or if I do, I don't remember. I always prefer the other school that I'm about to pick that you guys probably know by now. But I would definitely recommend running Fire or this other school if you are playing Wizard 101 without a membership. And that comes in at number 2. And coming in at number 1, guys, we have Storm. Now I could sit here and give a bunch of reasons why I like Storm better, but I'm just going to leave it at high damage. Do you guys see this Storm Shark? This thing is mad. This thing hits for over 400 damage. That's like almost 100 more than Fire. And Lightning Backs also hits very hard. And almost 285, almost 300 is a level 5 spell. The only downside with Storm is, as you guys can see, the Fizzle. The Fizzle is a pain. Don't get me wrong. I hate the Fizzle. But when it doesn't fizzle, it's the most damaging school. And at the end of the day, damage is the most important thing as a low-level school. The difference between this and Fire mainly is Fire is a little bit less damage, but safer. Like, you don't fizzle as much. For Storm is high risk, high reward. So it's why these two are the best too. Because they both hit hard, but one of them hits just a bit harder with more of a risk, whereas the other one is safer. And I've played a Storm before, and I can tell you that when you get to late game, Storm is absolute nuts. Like, it's ridiculous how you can just one-tap people out of nowhere. Anyways, I hope you guys like this kind of video. And if you did, please leave a like and subscribe and let me know what kind of videos you want to see in the future. Thank you. It's been your boy, Good for Nothing, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.